Welcome to the France 24 Observers. This show is based on our network of observers. They're ordinary people around the world who tell us what's going on where they are and send in photos and videos to document it. We check everything here in Paris and bring the best to you. We begin today in West Africa, in Senegal. Authorities there are cracking down on begging. They're under pressure from the US and other donors to take action against religious teachers called Marabouts who send children into the street to beg. The US says it encourages human trafficking. We head to the Assainies neighborhood in Dakar with our observer, Guejopaal Gnane.
When I heard about the crackdown, I went to see one of the Marabouts. There are at least 50 students in his school. They live in 6 rooms that are just 9 square meters each. They're packed in like chickens in a coop. The Marabout told me he's completely against the crackdown. Most of the students in Dakar's religious schools come from families who are very poor. They pretty much abandon their children. They bring them to live with the Marabouts. The Marabouts don't have any money, nor do the parents, and the government hasn't stepped in to help. So the only solution is for the children to go out begging on the streets. The Marabout told me there's nothing in the Quran that bans begging. Marabout schools were traditionally in the country, where they had plenty of land. Some even had their own cattle, meaning they could support the young students. But then the schools started moving into the cities. That's when the problems began. It's been 2 weeks since the crackdown, and it's clear it's not really working. You still see kids on the streets begging.
Next up, a young woman who's rebelling against what she calls an oppressive atmosphere for women by taking a bicycle ride. She lives in the Gaza Strip, where there's an unwritten rule that girls should give up riding bikes when they hit puberty. We head to Gaza in the Palestinian territories with Asma Al-Ghul.
When I saw the bicycle, I was scared. It looked very heavy. I got up my courage and forgot about all the years I didn't know how to ride a bike. I've had enough of these rules and restrictions on what women can do, and traditions that should have disappeared years ago. We started at the southern end of Gaza, near the border with Egypt. Then we followed the coast up to Gaza City. When we had problems with our bikes, families came out to help us. Even people who were pretty conservative, they were very welcoming. But then things got nasty. There were 2 men on a motorbike. One of them punched my friend Chantal in the back, and the other spat in my face. I was expecting this kind of reaction, so I spat back. It's sad to say, but you have to learn to defend yourself if you're a secular woman in Gaza who goes without a headscarf.
Finally today, playing with fire. That's what they do every year in a village in El Salvador. Our last observer was born there, and she's been going back ever since. We head to the village of Nejapa with Evelyn Navarro.
There are different cultural activities all day long. Then at 9 in the evening, the fireball battle begins. 2 groups of men face off for 2 hours, throwing balls of fire at each other. There are 2 theories about how the tradition began. One goes all the way back to 1658, when the San Salvador volcano erupted. The village was buried, and the story goes that our patron saint, Saint Jerome, led the villagers to a new site where fireballs couldn't touch them. And that's just what happened in 1917. There was another eruption, but the village in its new location was safe. Then there's another story, more religious, that says there was a battle between Saint Jerome and the devil, where they flung fireballs at each other. And that's the event we celebrate all these years later.
That's it for this week. As always, you can find more reports from our observers on our website and find out how you can sign up. See you next time.